He's got this man who you would call a woman, and then you watch him follow two little girls into a public toilet. You're not even gonna. It's not even gonna pass, like. Not at all. You wouldn't think about why is that person
if he was presenting
following?
in a questionable way, like if a woman was presenting in a questionable way, like actually like a woman,
so
I would be concerned.
That man wouldn't stand out at all.
Not at all.
All right, guys. I came across this clip from a campus debate, and honestly, I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. We see people argue about gender theory online all the time, but this exchange right here shows how completely disconnected from real-world logic some of these arguments have become. You have a self-described student trying to debate activist Kellie-Jay Keen, and within the first couple of minutes, he literally argues that womanhood is basically just a dress and wearing makeup. But wait until you see where this logic leads when Kellie-Jay asks him about basic safety in single-sex spaces, especially around children. Take a look at this first part.
So what is a woman? In your...
A woman?
Yes, I would believe that man was a woman.
That's how you're presenting. With makeup, epigamic displays, nice glasses. In terms of the cultural norms in the UK,
makes them a woman.
100%. It makes you more feminine, right? These are all labels that you associate with women yourself. I mean, that's what.
So
Nick
a woman
was
is just
like
a dress, a costume.
Yeah. In terms of a gendered woman is a dress. Your phenotype's how you present yourself, which is important, right? If you present yourself as a man,
and
you
where
may be
should that
mistaken.
person go that you think looks like a woman?
They can persist. I don't care. They can walk around anywhere. It's not. They're not imposing. They're not posing anything to me. They're not saying anything. They're just existing.
What about in spaces with like my daughter? Should they
Your
be?
Daughter?
Should they be in there? Should they be in with like a teenage girl?
Are they harming her?
Well, they're in a female space.
Yeah, but are they harming?
Yeah.
Is she then no. If they're harming your daughter, then no.
Well, by being in that space,
how are they harming? How are they harming your daughter by being in?
Because we make a distinction between who can and cannot enter spaces on the basis of their biological sex.
In terms of harm, how's that harming your daughter?
Well, when you're female, you have a very high alert strategy for people that are threatening to you, and
which are men.
Men, biologically, men would be a threat to women in women's spaces.
Why would men be a threat to women?
What? No men, or just men in dresses?
Biologically, men. Why do men? Just biological men.
Are you now going to argue that men aren't a threat to women?
I'm just want to know. I'm just asking your opinion.
There are 80,000 men in prison in this country, and there's about 12,000 of them have sexually assaulted women and children, right? There are 3,000 women in the entire prison estate in this country. So what we do know about men is that they are far more likely to be violent and sexually violent towards women. They're a far bigger threat. They're bigger, stronger, faster,
100%.
more harmful, more violent.
100% agree.
Right, so that's why they're not allowed in women's spaces.
So men in general are quite dangerous. They're
threat.
In terms of sexual violence, assault, right? That's something that I agree with. In that we do have to.
So that's why they're not allowed in women's spaces.
We do have to consider, the lived experience of women, because obviously men can be quite dangerous in certain cases, right? But all I'm saying is that you potentially could have a policy, right, in which you could preserve spaces like that are.
No, we do have policies.
In what sense?
Not we could.
In what sense?
In the sense that men are not allowed in women's spaces.
Oh, so
in that sense.
So in terms of you don't agree with mixed schools?
Is a school a women's female space?
No, but their classrooms are mixed, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that a not inherent
danger
to your?
It's not a female space, is it?
Is that a danger to your daughter because men are persisting in mixed spaces?
No, because I said female spaces.
Men
in female spaces.
Males, let's use sex. Males are persisting in female spaces. That's a danger because they have a disproportionate amount of harm towards females, right? But mixed spaces exist, like the classroom.
Yes, they do.
Do you agree with mixed classrooms, or should schools be segregated?
Do you understand why you would have a private space, like a female-only toilet?
100%.
Right. Are girls like pulling their pants down and going to the toilet in classrooms, are they?
you weren't talking about toilets. You just said the space.
Female spaces, I said.
What's female space?
I think we know. Well, a female space would be somewhere where she might get undressed. So it might be a female changing room, female toilet, female clubs, female sports. Those would be female spaces where we've said that space is specifically for females. Would be a female space.
Okay, and that's fine. And you can agree with that. I think that's a valid point to raise. You may be based on fear that men or males, let's say, disproportionately harm women via domestic assault, which is something that we both agree in, right? There's just a lot more men in the prison system that are being convicted of that.
More than 2 women die every week by the hands of an ex-partner.
Exactly, that's a fucking travesty, right? That's a big travesty, and that's something that should be a agenda and a policy on a government level in terms of really addressing the fact that men can be very dangerous, right? And are very dangerous towards women. That's something we both agree on, right? I don't necessarily know if Nick agrees with that. That's something you may deviate because he assumes that the man should occupy the household and women should be subordinate towards males.
I don't know if he said subordinate, but...
Oh, that's true. I'm putting words into his mouth, but he was inferring that from what his rhetoric was saying. But we agree that men can be quite dangerous towards women. Okay, that's good. What I disagree with you, and I think I'm trying to get like some common ground, is that you have an issue with me projecting my opinions onto other people and how I perceive people.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I do, because I said I see, let's say, use the word trans women, right, as women. I see them as women.
Yeah, I kind of don't believe you, though.
No, that's your personal opinion.
I'll tell you why I don't believe you. Because often people say this, and then I would say, okay, so you have a young niece or nephew, and your brother or sister, whoever it is, or you have a child, and the person who turns up from the babysitting service is a 6'2" man in a dress called Janet.
I agree with that.
You're gonna think very differently about that person around small children than you would if you genuinely thought that was a woman.
But I would see them as a woman, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie. You may not believe me, and like I don't really believe that you don't believe in a gender, but that's just my personal opinion. But it'd be wrong of me to question that because it's your personal beliefs, it's your perspective of how you see the world, right?
So if you saw a 6'3" man who presented as a woman, got long luscious hair, some really nice lipstick, great makeup, right?
Wait one second. Calm down. Don't engage. Calm down, bro.
So he's really made an effort. He's got some great shoes. He's got some great style. He's got this man who you would call a woman. And then you watch him follow 2 little girls into a public toilet. It's not even gonna pass, like, not at all. You wouldn't think about why is that person
if he was presenting
following?
in a questionable way, like if a woman was presenting in a questionable way, like actually like a woman,
so
I would be concerned.
That man wouldn't stand out at all.
Not at all. If he was, you get a lot of people in drag, right?
You wouldn't stand up for those. You wouldn't see that as a danger for those little girls.
You're assuming the worst, no? And you can check on that.
What if he wasn't wearing a dress?
If you were concerned.
What if he wasn't wearing a dress and he just looked normal? What if he was just wearing jeans and a t-shirt and he follows 2 little girls into a toilet?
I would say maybe questions like, could be a father. Fathers going to toilets all the time.
But there's nothing about you.
I don't know. I'm just inferring. I don't know. I don't know. You see a lot of men. I've seen some men go into female toilets, never ask a question. Because
you've never.
I've never asked because I've assumed, maybe their daughter could be in there.
Wow.
Or maybe
you would just let something like that just.
Because there could be so many different reasons for it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't like ask.
And I personally don't like to infringe on people's rights.
Okay.
So if you have your own self-beliefs and your own I believe in freedom of speech. Freedom of mobility.
So you would just look away when like
not necessarily
2
look
little
away.
girls going in a toilet and a grown man follows behind, you're just looking away.
No, I wouldn't look away. I would say if the is any water or something kind of can I some water? No. You
can't have any of my water, no.
Fine, okay. But if the man or woman is acting really shifty, right? Doing like maybe staring a bit too much.
Like going into a women's space?
No, not just
like
going
shifty.
into women's.
Okay.
I'm just saying beforehand.
It's just really
maybe
interesting that you wouldn't intervene at all. You would see something like that and you just leave it.
Notice how fast the argument falls apart the moment it leaves abstract theories and hits real life. When asked to define a woman, his answer is that it's purely about presentation, makeup, clothes, accessories. So by that logic, womanhood is reduced to a costume. But here's where things get really wild. Kellie-Jay pushes him on what that actually means for practical, real-world boundaries, like female-only spaces. Watch how he tries to equate a classroom, where everyone is fully clothed, with a private changing room or a public restroom. And then watch what happens when Kellie-Jay presents a scenario involving an adult following young girls into a toilet. Look at his response here.
Would you intervene if
I guess you and I are very, very different, but I would 100% intervene.
Really?
Yeah.
So when a father goes into a female toilet,
I would say, why are you going into that toilet? That's exactly
you would?
what. Yes, of course I would.
That seems quite confrontational.
Well, I would rather seem confrontational than let a man follow little girls into a toilet.
Okay.
But that's just me. But I guess that's why I'm an activist, because when I see something I feel is unjust and wrong, that I would stand up and I would try and resolve that particular thing.
I've got no issues with that. I feel like what you're doing is courageous. I actually rate it because it's like me going to a super right-wing conservative area.
Oh, like this one. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just flipping what you're doing now, right? It's a very liberal space. University campus, especially UCL is a very liberal space. Predominantly migrants. Yeah, I'm British, right? My parents are British. My grandparents came over in a Windrush, right? So in terms of generationally, I'm actually maybe arguably more English than Nick, which is quite funny. Even though I phenotypically may not look.
Well, we won't go into the ethnic argument.
Well,
of
Nick's grandparents are what's it called, migrants now. That's what he said. That's what he divulged to me. He told a lot about himself to me. He told me that he, used to live in quite a dangerous area. Right, led to some form of emotional abuse from his father. He said all of this to me.
Okay.
Which is I thought.
Can we stick to this argument?
Oh, that's true.
Thank you.
Change the conversation. But in terms of sex, I wouldn't have an issue.
Think about what we just watched. When pressed on whether a grown man following little girls into a public restroom would concern him, his instinct wasn't caution or safety. It was to assume maybe he's just a father and look the other way. He literally admitted he wouldn't even ask a question or intervene. When theoretical ideology gets prioritized over basic common sense and safeguarding, you end up with takes like this, where even obvious boundary violations get brushed off. But what do you guys think? Would you speak up if you saw something questionable, or do you agree with his approach of not getting involved? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. If you want to see more breakdowns like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Catch you guys in the next video.